Good morning. We're on chapter 3 called Baby Birdie of our story. We're going to learn a little bit more about this cute little baby. Meep, I'm home, called Zoe, bursting through the front door of the cottage. She spotted a furry bundle cuddled up on the sofa and smiled. Meep, have you been snoozing all day? A tiny head popped up and Meep blinked sleepily. I was just resting my eyes, Zoe, the lemur explained, yawning. I wasn't really asleep. Zoe grinned. Come on, I'll get changed out of my school things and then it's time to go see Birdie. Zoe had rushed home from school as fast as she could. She'd even decided not to stay late for the drawing club, which she loved. She was so desperate to get back to the rescue zoo, and all because of a very cute baby elephant. All weekend, Zoe had tried to talk to Birdie. She always made sure she spoke to new animals when they arrived at the zoo so that she could try to help if they felt nervous or frightened. They were often very surprised that a little girl could understand them, but yesterday there hadn't been a single second to speak to Birdie on his own. First, David had taken Birdie into his new enclosure so that he could meet Oscar. Birdie had been so excited he rushed around in dizzy circles, trumpeting noisily. Then Lucy had popped in to give the little elephant a proper checkup. It had taken a while because Birdie thought she'd come to play tag, but he kept running from her. After that, Great Uncle Horace and Kiki had come by to say hello. Zoe waited and waited, but before she knew it, it was time to go home for dinner. It might not be as busy today, though, she told Meep hopefully, as she put on leggings, a red top, a sweater, and fastened her paw print charm necklace around her neck. Let's go. They ran along the path, calling hello to the other animal friends as they passed. But as they drew closer to the elephant, Zoe noticed a funny noise in the air. It was like the buzzing she heard whenever she visited the rescue zoo bees. What is that? She asked, frowning. The funny buzz grew louder and louder. They reached the next corner, peered around it, and both stared. The noise was the chatter of an enormous crowd outside the elephant enclosure. Zoe had never seen so many people at the zoo before, all talking eagerly about one animal. The baby's so adorable, cried a lady with big sunglasses. Elephants are my favorite, called a boy in a blue sweater, holding his camera up to take pictures. Look how many people wanted to see Birdie, Zoe whispered in amazement. How will we get in, Zoe? Meep asked. Don't worry, we'll use my special necklace, Zoe replied, reaching for the paw print charm around her neck. It was very precious to Zoe because it was a present from Great Uncle Horace. It opened every door and gate in the whole zoo and meant that Zoe could visit any animal whenever she wanted. Excuse me, said Zoe politely, making her way through the crowd. She dodged past the family taking pictures with their phone and squeezed through a huge group of girls and boys in Brownie and Cub Scout uniforms who were standing on their tiptoes to see Birdie. He's so cute, one of the brownies cried. When Zoe reached the fence, she held the charm against a panel on the gate. With a quiet click, it swung open. Zoe and Meep went inside and shut the gate behind them. Wow, a little girl breathed, staring at Zoe. I wish I could do that. The elephant's home looked like the real African savanna, with lots of tall acacia and apricot trees. David was holding out a big handful of peanuts for Oscar, who was using his clever trunk to scoop them up straight into his mouth without even taking the shells off. Birdie watched Oscar hopefully. He's just had a bottle of milk, David told Zoe. He'll need to drink around 4 gallons of milk a day, but he'll be eating more and more solid food as well. I don't think he's hungry. He's just eager to do whatever Oscar is doing. Zoe giggled as Birdie watched Oscar eat. His ears wiggled with excitement. Oscar carefully used the tip of his trunk to push a peanut over to the little elephant. Zoe giggled as Birdie dropped the peanut right away, chasing after it with his trunk. But Oscar patiently showed Birdie how to pick it up and pop it in his mouth. It's got to kind of be the mama. Zoe smiled as Birdie rushed up to her. His tasseled tail was swishing excitedly like a happy puppy. As he trumpeted hello, she was even more desperate to talk to him. But David was right there, and all the visitors were watching. Suddenly, Meep chattered. He hopped off Zoe's shoulder, ran across the enclosure, and leaped onto David's arm, grabbing a peanut right out of his hand. The crowd started laughing as Meep scampered all the way up Oscar's trunk and perched on his huge gray head, where he nibbled happily on the peanut. Zoe grinned. Her funny friend was distracting everyone for her. As the crowd took pictures of the naughty lemur, she bent down and whispered quickly in Bertie's ear, "Hello, Bertie." Bertie's eyes lit up, and he gave a loud squeak. Zoe could tell he was trying his best to be quiet, but he was too excited. "I'm glad Oscar told you about me," she replied quietly, smiling. "Oscar's one of my best friends here at the rescue zoo, and I hope we're going to be good friends too. We can't talk with all these people around, but I'll come back as soon as I can, I promise." Bertie nodded eagerly and reached up to nuzzle Zoe's face with his little trunk. It felt very soft and velvety, and Zoe couldn't help giggling. David looked over and chuckled. "Is Bertie up to mischief again?" he called. Zoe laughed. "Mom says our new elephant is a little bit naughty." "He's not naughty. He's just eager to be involved in everything," David said with a smile. Zoe saw Bertie's eyes light up. The baby elephant wiggled his ears and lifted his trunk in the air, and then he started stomping his feet on the ground and rushed around the enclosure excitedly. But he wasn't looking where he was going. Zoe held her breath as he crashed straight into one of Oscar's huge legs, twirled around dizzily, and tumbled over in a heap. Meep laughed so much he nearly fell off Oscar's head. Zoe and David rushed over to make sure Bertie was all right, but Oscar had already wrapped his big, strong trunk around Bertie's tummy to help him get back on his feet, and then patted his head gently. Zoe giggled as Bertie raced straight off again, already looking for more fun. Rescue Zoo's newest arrival was a real bundle of energy. He's super fun. And the next chapter we'll read is called Weigh Day. And that's the weigh as in how many pounds you weigh. So we're probably going to have to weigh and see how heavy this elephant is. Have a great day.